the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Jenny, would you take the roll?
Austriaco?
Here.
Vessler? Collins? Coyle?
Here.
Lee? Sullivan?
Here.
Owen?
Here. Okay, we're going to start with our favorite area, our favorite topic. 207's Best this month is elective area of achievement. And we're going to start with Maine South. Colin?
Tonight's recipient for 207's Best from Maine South is Jen Beck. So when I sent out the email asking for recipients from our elective teachers, when I received word that Jen was going to be with us this evening, I was really excited because Jen is one of the students that I've gotten to know very well, and you're going to learn why just in a moment here. And I think she's one of the students who probably, of all 2,400 kids at Maine South, has done the most for our students. And possibly the most for high school students around the whole Chicago area, which is great. She is a polyglot, and that means she can speak more than 2 languages. She speaks French and Italian. She has taken a hybrid of AP courses from AP Language and Composition to AP Econ to AP US History to AP Literature and Composition, and she's also one of our esteemed editors of Southwards, the current senior class president and a member of the Thespian Society and the Drama Club. She's been both a stage manager and the assistant technical director in some of our productions. She was also helpful in covering the referendum and some of the community meetings for Southwards, and also provided feedback to the design process through her lens as a student when we were meeting with the architects. I also selected Jen to be my guest at the North Cook Illinois Principals Association Student Recognition Breakfast, which is coming up soon. And her accolades also include the Northern Illinois Scholastic Press Association Blue Ribbon for photography and for writing. And she's also been nominated and received the award as a Hawk Pride Student of the Quarter. So her teachers, Mrs. Anna Straza, her French teacher, said, "Jen is an exceptional student in more ways than 1 or 2 or 3. She puts learning above any grade, and she works very hard to do the best that she possibly can. Not only is she a phenomenal student in the classroom, but she is also a person, who she is as a person is truly unbelievable. The effort that she puts into making sure that students look beyond the 4 walls of this building is what really sets her apart. Last year, she organized the Parkland Project to help the victims affected by the school shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. It opened up our students' eyes tremendously. She's the type of person who will become a true leader in part because she already is." Mr. Alex Stathakis, her English 1 accelerated teacher and Southwards advisor, says Jen's involvement in Southwards over the last 3 years has been nothing short of inspiring. "I first saw her potential when she was a freshman in my English 1 accelerated class. Her ability to provide thought-provoking, intelligent reflections about text while promoting dialogue among her peers was as impressive as I had seen in my years of teaching. And I knew that she would thrive as a journalist. In the years since, she has won Scholastic Journalism Awards for both photography and writing, and she is a guiding force for the newspaper's editorial board. Her maturity and critical eye push the other editors to think deeply about larger issues that impact the school and society as a whole. Jen's selfless approach to all that she does, including the Parkland Project she organized last year, is a hallmark of her character, and I count myself lucky to have had the opportunity to work with her for 4 years." And then finally, Jen's counselor, Mrs. Erin Sanchez, says, "Jen Beck is one of the most impressive students I have known in my 28 years as a teacher and a counselor. She demonstrates an extraordinary level of poise, self-assurance, and sense of purpose. Jen has made an impact in so many areas of the school, but one that stands out as an example is her activism after the Parkland shooting in February 2018. In this situation, as in so many others, Jen is an amazing student leader who will undoubtedly make a significant impact no matter where she goes or what she does after leaving Maine South. It has been a pleasure and a privilege to work with her." And I would like actually to read the email that I saved, Jen, that you sent me the day after that tragedy took place. So I'm going to paraphrase from one of her opening paragraphs. "If I have learned anything from being surrounded by younger kids in the community, whether that be from my experience as an older sibling, babysitting, or events like Teach the Peach, it is that my future is incredibly bright. Today's kids are in the midst of a cultural revolution where accepting everyone is the norm. I am so lucky to be a part of such beautiful change and look forward to the day when I'm helping my children and eventually my grandchildren write their APUSH essays about this very time in history. It is so easy to be caught up in the devastation and sadness that comes with cataclysms like this one in Florida. It is beautifully ironic how sometimes it takes such tragedy to bring humanity together, and that is exactly why I need your help. And then she went on in that email to describe everything that she wanted to do for our school. So Dr. Wallace was with me that day. We had 1,200 students who went outside to do a memorial for those who lost their life to that tragedy. She also organized about double the size of these two tables put together, a huge sign that all students, remember that?
Yeah,
that all
banner.
students, yeah, huge banner that had the whole country, and students signed it everywhere. I thought it brought the whole school together at a time that we really needed to heal and show our support for what had taken place in Florida. And I got to know Jen through those experiences. She met regularly with the administration over the course of a couple of mornings just to say, this is what we'd like to do, here's why we'd like to do it. And then when I was sharing with other principals at a meeting about a month later about what our students decided to do, they were all so impressed by the maturity shown by our student body and the fact that they, I think, wanted to create such a pretty and gorgeous memorial for just the whole life that all of us share, in this larger community of high school. So Jen, I can definitely say from the bottom of my heart how much I've been impacted by being your principal, and it has been an honor for me. And I know that every single person over at Maine South is just so proud of you and everything that you've done. So thank you so much, and congratulations. And who is with you here this evening?
Both of my parents are here, and one of my favorite teachers of all time, Mr. Sathakis, is here. I want to thank the three of you for your support. My parents for always being really supportive and loving, and Mr. S for teaching me about the Oxford comma and other very important things, and supporting my journalistic voice, no matter how crazy it is. So,
And what are you planning on doing next year?
I am hoping to attend the University of Texas at Austin to pursue a career in the television and film industry, and I plan to pursue foreign languages as well, so hopefully.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you.
Okay, next up we have Maine East.
Hi, everybody. I am pleased to introduce Suzanne Georges. So Suzanne has, if we kind of start with her, talking a little bit about her academic history at East, she's been enrolled in Accelerated Everything and a whole bunch of AP, including AP Calc BC, AP US Comparative Government Politics, AP Environmental Science, AP US History, where she earned honors of academic achievement, AP English Language and Comp, AP Physics 1, AP European History. She's also been a PE leader in the junior senior PE program. Been a member of National Honor Society for the past 2 years. She's been included on the High Honor Roll every semester since she started at Maine East. Received IHSA Scholastic Achievement Award in 2018. We also know that Suzanne is a really talented soccer player, where she's been a team captain of a girls' soccer team. She's recognized as all-conference by the CSL in 2016, 2017, 2018, and probably 2019 coming around. She was a member of the champion team Nike Cup Classic in 2017. She also plays club soccer with Soccers FC. Additionally, she's been active in a number of clubs, including comics, cartooning, and animation. So while all of these are commendable, I didn't really talk about everything that she has done in the electives. So if I loop back around and say freshman year, she was in Intro to Radio and TV, broadcasting, which is the primary focus that she was nominated not once, not twice, but 3 times this year once as just overall academic achievement, another time as fine arts specific, and this time a little more broad in terms of what she's done in the electives. But she was in television, radio broadcasting, and then has been in advanced TV and radio broadcasting for the past 3 years, so 4 years there. Has been in French accelerated program for 4 years. Started in her sophomore year in drama 2, and has been involved in that for the past 3 years as well. She's received multiple awards and recognitions outside the walls of Maine East for her work in broadcasting. There's a group called the Midwest Media Educators Association, which is a cadre of, I don't know, like 40 or 50 suburban schools, pretty high-powered schools with some really fine programs. And District 207 has always been a leader, and among them, Maine East has been a leader among the 207 schools. She has received multiple awards and recognitions, including a Gold Award Midwestern Media Educators Video Festival in 2017. She was a finalist in Division AA for Documentary Midwest Media Educators Film Festival. Second place in the MMEA 7-Day Film Challenge in 2018. And she's been a nominee for NARAS, which is the National Academy of TV Arts and Sciences, better known as Grammy. Here at Maine East, Susan also serves as the co-station manager for WMTH TV. She regularly appears live on the air for WMTH FM. And she's basically the go-to anchor anytime we need somebody to be the video personality. She's the first person we're gonna go to. Her voice is known throughout our school as the voice of our daily public address announcements, and her catchphrase, "Good morning, Maine East," is imitated endlessly by her peers, as is her weekly pitch for pizza, pizza, pizza. Her broadcasting teacher, Phil Ash, went on to explain, "It's difficult to fully explain the scope and breadth of Suzanne's talent, but simply put, she has a natural gift for storytelling. It's clearly evident in all of her work, regardless of topic, genre, or style. During her time as a student, Suzanne has produced a diverse media portfolio, including dramatic narratives, news packages, public service announcements, movie trailers, and music videos. All these projects contain a singular common element, and that is exceptional storytelling. Suzanne's visual stories draw an audience in, hook them, and do not let them go until the credits roll. She has a natural understanding of story structure, narrative pacing, and she has the creativity to put unique twists on her work without convoluting the message or the purpose. Suzanne is able to carry out her stories using skillful writing, cinematography, and editing. She has the instinctual knowledge necessary to make what is written on the page come to life, both behind the camera and in an editing bay. Her talents have not gone unnoticed by others, including her peers, teachers, and the greater Chicagoland student filmmaking community. In fact, last year, Suzanne co-wrote, directed, and edited a silent film that was showcased at the prestigious San Filippo Estates private silent film theater, Place de la Musique. Suzanne is a rare talent. In short, she is the type of student all teachers want to teach. I consider myself lucky to have had her as a student. Her school counselor, Susie Caliendo, went on and on, but I'll truncate. She led off with, "She's fantastic, truly one of our best." She went on to talk a little bit about her work ethic, just her work in class, the fact that she collaborates, she leads by example, whether that happens to be in the class or on the playing field. And she also talked a little bit about the fall play this year, which sort of took her into still a slightly different area of the electives in performing arts. Susie wrote that this fall she took the risk of adding one more activity to her repertoire and became part of a unique theater opportunity, acting in our fall play, The Compass. As part of the immersion theater cast, Suzanne was charged with the task of responding to the feedback of audience and generating her talents. So what happened is, basically every so often we would stop the show, cast members would come up in a focus group, find out sort of in terms of this moral dilemma, how the audience members would respond. This was then tallied, so each show could end up a little bit differently. Suzanne was sort of the person that was herding all those cats while that information was coming in. She's been very involved in the PE leaders and has basically been the point person in terms of so much of the video work. Teresa Bonifazi described her as a vibrant and charismatic young lady, and said, mentioned that soccer is also one of her many talents. A true leader both on and off the field. She displays her leadership through exemplary work ethic and dedication to sportsmanship. Seen this play out in our PE leader program as she continually projects positivity, humor, and a passion of physical wellness. Others that talked about her described the fact that she is probably her own strongest critic. She is highly reflective, so it's a matter of good enough is not good enough unless it's just absolutely the best she can be. And to sum it up, I think she truly exemplifies what we call our code, which is being respectful to others and self, responsible for actions, and ready for what other sort of opportunity comes before her. She's truly one of 207's best for a better school, for everything that she does. I know she's going to do great things, and we are proud of you. Thank you. Thank you. I think we have a cheering section here. All right.
So I have my mother, my little sister, and my brother with me. And then I have Mr. Zielinski, who is the officer of the Comics, Cartoons, and Anime Club. Also my second therapist.
Okay.
Then I have Mr. Ash, who has been my teacher all 4 years. And then behind them, I have one of my favorites, Miss Bello, who writes the announcements and is always there to open the doors for me when I come to school super early after morning practices. So thank you guys for being here.
Super. What are your plans next year?
I will be attending Webster University in St. Louis, and I'll be studying television and film production. So.
Okay, next up we have Maine West.
Thank you. Maine West would like to recognize Ruby Patel as one of 207's best in area electives. I start with a quote for you, Druvy, that really reminded me of you. Life gives you the journey, you create the path. There's not one path, there's not even the right path. There is only your path. And I know you've carved that path out for yourself. West. Druvy is truly deserving of the award of 207's Best in Electives because she used career and technical education electives throughout her high school to explore career options. This is the true mission of electives, so it's so exciting when students realize this. Through exploring, students should find out what fits and what doesn't feel exactly right. And Druvy did just that. She readily admits there were moments where she felt a little unsettled or anxious, but she used it to drive herself forward rather than hold herself back. Druvy thought she saw her career path very early on in her high school experience. She also knew she could explore a wide array of elective courses. Influenced by her sister's decision to study physical therapy, Druvy was also drawn to the idea of medicine. In particular, she thought she might like to be a pediatrician. This goal drew her to electives like child development and school-age child. And although she was very successful in these classes, she just didn't feel that passion. According to her child development teacher, Miss Archer, Druvy was an exceptional student in these classes. She worked well with the third graders and had a great understanding of the content. She started on the education path early as a freshman, and even when she realized it wasn't her passion, she stayed committed to the class, and her partnership with the Plainfield students was unwavering. And Druvy had a little repeat of this experience, but then she struck gold. According to Mrs. Mazanowski, Druvy was in my introduction to business class, and while she performed top rate, she realized business was not the career for her. When she enrolled in my internship class as a junior, she told me she was interested in architecture. She interviewed at a local architectural firm, but did not get the internship due to her lack of experience with CAD. However, she did not let this discourage her either. She went to intern at another firm where she used online tutorials and case studies to teach herself the basics of CAD. Her supervisor eventually gave her exceeds expectation rating in all categories of her work and added, "Druvy will go far." It has been a pleasure to watch Druvy's career goals come into focus and her skills evolved in the many CTE classes she's taken in the past 4 years. The internship experience really solidified Druvy's decision to pursue a career in architecture or engineering. Now as a senior, she is enrolled in Mr. Peterson's Project Lead the Way course to further improve on her CAD skills and automotive fundamentals, well, just because she can, right? Mr. Peterson comments, "I can honestly say Druvy is not only an amazing student, she's just an amazing young woman. Her work ethic, enthusiasm, and passion is second to none. She meets all of her project deadlines and is the first student to step up and assist others in both of my courses. Her maturity has definitely set her apart in both of my classes. I'm thrilled that her plans are to study architecture and civil engineering next year at the University of Illinois. Dhruvi is equally as amazing in her other coursework. She's currently taking AP Art History, AP English, AP Calc BC, AP Physics C, and is a PE leader. She maintains an impressive 4.49 GPA. Mr. Zamita, Dhruvi's AP Physics teacher, notes, Dhruvi's an incredibly diligent and hardworking student. As a student in AP Physics C, she has met the challenges presented by the material head on. She uses multiple resources to resolve her issues, and she comes in during free periods outside of school hours to ask questions and get additional practice. She works to complete and understand all aspects of every single classroom assignment. Her commitment to her own learning will serve her well in her post-secondary studies. Aside from her academic success, Dhruvi is one of the most involved students at Maine West. In the midst of her incredibly challenging schedule, she finds time to serve as a coach tutor, volunteer with the Key Club, serve on the student council, lead the Indian Student Association, serve on the executive board as treasurer of NHS, and participate in SALT, Spanish NHS, Warrior Pride, Mu Alpha Theta, Pi Sigma Pi. Mr. Allworth comments that Dhruvi's positivity and selfless leadership are traits to which we want all of our students to aspire. Dhruvi's counselor, Ms. Bader, concurs. She says, Dhruvi's a dynamic and charismatic young lady who takes chances, possesses strong leadership skills, and connects with others with ease. As a Warrior Pride mentor, Dhruvi assisted with the freshman lessons in the I Am a Warrior Day earlier this year. As a facilitator of one of those lessons, I was able to observe Dhruvi interact with the freshman class in a leadership role. She had a strong presence and a kind approach. The students looked to her for direction and guidance, and she responded with a level of professionalism and patience that was well beyond her years. Dhruvi has a strong work ethic, tremendous self-advocacy skills, and engages in her education with great dedication and independence. Thank you, Dhruvi, for reminding us that a change in direction doesn't mean one's abandoning their path. Few paths are straight or predictable. Yours at Maine West has been magnificent. Congratulations on all you have achieved and for being named 207's best in the area of electives. You're really inspiring. Thank you.
And you got some follow-up questions? Who's with you?
Oh, yes.
I have my mom and dad here, and of course, my biggest role models in life, my absolute heroes.
Okay. Yeah, your mom and dad.
Yeah.
And you want to study, I know I revealed that
Yeah.
here because Mr. Peterson said to share with you.
Civil engineering at the University of Illinois.
So these stories are so awesome, and Dhruvi in particular, all the stories are really cool, but just so people understand, the Project Lead the Way class that you're in, we actually have, there's research behind that, and what the research says is that students who take Project Lead the Way classes while in high school stick in schools of engineering, where there's a relatively high dropout rate, and they go on to work successfully in engineering because they got to try it on in high school. And so about 5 years ago, we said, well, what if we could do that for everything? Whether it was an accountant, whether it was someone that wanted to go into media, or dental hygienist, whatever the career is. And so we've set our path to do that. And you're all case studies of what we're hopeful to get to, which is letting students really explore deeply while in high school, so that your decision making prior to going away to college, spending money, maybe going down a path, and actually having some of the experiences that you've already had. Because it turns out that finding out what you don't want to do is incredibly valuable. And better to find out now in high school than perhaps, you know, a semester or 2 or 5 later in college. So we're just really, really proud of all of you, and you're all just tremendous exemplars of what we hope to achieve for all of our students. We do have one more award, and I'm not sure, is Casey here? Oh my, so you're all witness, the Hawkettes have been late to something. It literally never happens. It's the first time in the universe. So we were going to recognize the Hawkettes tonight for winning the national championship, but we will reschedule them for another evening. So with that,
At this point, congratulations to all of our students and their parents and all their supporters. It's really nice to see so many people come out and show their appreciation for these students. You may now take this opportunity to have a photo taken with your principals in the hallway. And this is also your chance to leave the meeting, should you wish to do so.
but you don't have to.
Thank you for coming. It's good to meet you ahead of time. It's nice to meet you. You have a wonderful daughter. I was so inspired by her story. And I loved all the rich and all those things. And you probably did too. Okay, that's usually the case, right? That's
We have to start with the
Yes, come on out here, so take a picture. And you show here's the next one. What you want to do.
Yeah.
And it'll be posted online too.
All right, do we have any cards? Does anyone see any cards over there? Public comments? Okay. Do you want to go ahead and give your update?
Just really quickly, we were asked last week, District 07 was asked to be a featured school in a couple of weeks down at the McCormick Center. The National ASCD conference is there. It's the Association of Curriculum, Supervision of Curriculum Development. It's a large national organization, and we got a personal invite to be one of the 6 Illinois districts featured for innovative work. So that's been kind of cool, and Sean and I talked today about getting ready to do that. Beyond that, not a whole lot to add. I was going to speak a little bit about the Hawkettes and some key things about the culture of their program, but we'll save that for another time when they're here to hear it.
All right, are there any updates from board members? Okay. Education committee update.
To that one.
Okay.
Three. So, sorry about that. So the Education Committee met on February 25. We started at 6 o'clock. Committee members present were Paula Bessler, Linda Coyle, myself, Sean Messmer, and Lee Edwards. There were no public comments. We talked about the Bell schedule update, which I know Sean's going to talk about a little bit more later, but in that one, Sister Messmer updated the committee on the suggested revisions to the current Bell schedule. Feedback was solicited from students, parents, and teachers, as well as part of the process of improving the educational experience of stakeholders through the daily Bell schedule. Beginning next year, the Bell schedule will have a consistent start time every morning for students at 8:20 a.m. and block days will move to Wednesday and Thursday. This normalization was important for all involved, most importantly, keeping adolescent neuroscience and student health in mind. A later start for students every day will be implemented. The contractual day does not change for teachers with a start time of 7:30 in the morning. We also talked about new course proposals. Mr. Messmer briefly reviewed the new courses approved at the February board meeting. Math Human Endeavor is a dual credit course with Eastern Illinois University and will be piloted at Maine East and Maine West. Next year, 3 credits will be earned with successful completion and are transferable to Oakton for any state school. This course is replacing a current course, so there will be no added staff. Intro to Criminal Justice is a 3-credit online course and part of a law enforcement associate's degree. Students are taught by Oakton professors, but will be supervised by our school staff. Foundations of Problem Solving offers intense math support and remediation by a math expert. We're looking into upper-level computer science courses. At OCCs, we have 6 to 10 students looking to further their computer science knowledge. We also talked about the policy 6280 grading and promotion. The district is recommending that we remove the policy language that requires the final exam in every course taught. Finals will become discretionary by course and course team with guidance and practice being provided by the MCC and building principals. The policy revisions will go for first reading in March. And we also talked about the year-long classes, the single grade rationale. Traditionally, students receive 2 semester grades for a year-long course. The district is moving to a single holistic grade for a year-long course as opposed to the current practice of averaging the first semester and second semester grades together to determine a GPA. Administration feels this produces a grade that is more accurate assessment of student performance and ability. Teachers will be required to keep updated grades in the portal and post quarter and semester grades, but only the final grade will be posted on the student transcript. There being no further matter discussed, the Education Committee meeting adjourned at 6:39 p.m.
And I have heard the Hawkins are coming. The Hawkins are coming, the Hawkins are coming.
Okay.
They went to the town hall. Apparently, they think we're a lot fancier than we are, so they're all on their way. So they'll be here momentarily.
They went to Parkridge City
Parkland
Council?
City, yeah.
Oh.
Town hall on Ballard.
Yeah. Well, that's where they went?
Actually,
Oh.
I think they went
Or
to
City
City
Hall.
they went
They
down
went
to
to
Tulsa.
City
They went
Hall.
downtown
They
City Hall,
thought City
yeah.
Hall.
They
Yeah.
do think we're a lot fancier.
I hope there was a meeting at City Hall today.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
Just send me a text.
This is a good, some mistakes are useful. We'll add this one too, that this is a mistake they won't make again.
Okay, thank you, Laura. There's a lot done in 40 minutes, I have
That
to
was a
say.
lot.
It was a lot, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to monthly status of finances.
In your board packet is the January financial statement. On the revenue side, you can just see a little bit of lagging in the state funding. We anticipate getting that by the end of the year. On the expenditure side, everything is in line with budget. The one fund that may be over budget this year is the court fund.
Yes,
That has to do with
All right, well, thank you again.
legal expenses and some insurance. I'll entertain any questions that anyone has after January.
Okay, hearing none. Thank you very much. Moving on to instructional services. Sean, anything to?
So we just had a update of our National Merit Scholar finalists. I think the key thing here, we brought a list of commended students, and then we get to semi-finalists, and now we're down to finalists. And of importance here, or distinction here, is that these students that are listed below are one of only 15,000 students recognized nationwide. So it's a pretty special achievement. And this puts them in the running for some scholarship money as we start to head into the spring and final selections by them of their universities. Entertain any questions if there are any.
All right, monthly update on FOIA requests.
5 this month, and all have been responded to.
Okay, we're going to come back to you, Sean, then, for the first reading on the Board of Education policies.
So policy revision to 6:280, grading and promotion. Really the key piece here is that we are suggesting the removal of the requirement to have a final in each and every course that we teach. We'd like to give a latitude to the principals and course teams to decide when it makes sense for a final for a student. In fact, in some conversation with Dr. Collins, we talked a little bit about just when students come back and talk about what their experience is, that outside of the general curriculum, general ed curriculum, and particularly in math and science, they may have a traditional final where we would see some, maybe some reason to keep those at the high school level. But in many other cases, your traditional coming in and sitting for an hour and a half to 2 hour final is something that really is like a path. And so we'd like to give our teachers and building the latitude to make some changes in those areas.
Do you anticipate you know, that departments would need to be in agreement, you know, so that some classes were not giving a final and others weren't, like in the same.
Yeah, we put some parameters around this. A couple of things specifically around, just for example, the Bio 1 team. They need to decide they're going to give a final,
Or not.
and that it would be similar or not, so that students would not have disparate situations or grades that are impacting, or assessments that are heavily weighted that are inappropriately impacting their grades that wouldn't impact someone else. So absolutely.
Okay, so this is just first reading. If anybody has any comments, feel free to follow up with Sean. We'll come back next month for a second reading. Okay, could I have a motion on the consent agenda, item 8A through F?
Second.
Thank you. She got it, you're here. Okay. Ginny, would you take the roll on item 8?
Austriaco?
Aye.
Bessler?
Aye.
Coyle?
Aye.
Sullivan? Owen?
Aye. Could I have a motion on item 9A, computer information concepts?
So moved.
Thank you. A second?
Second.
Thank you. Okay,
Give that to Mark.
Mark, okay.
So we have been using PowerSchool registration for the last 3 years for online registration with our families, which is how parents are doing an annual information update to provide us new demographic information, register their kids for school. We're moving to Infinite Campus for our student information system this year, and they have an accompanying product called OLR Prime. So it's their online registration product. The cost for their product is about 50% less in the next 2 years than PowerSchool registration, and has much better integration with the student information system that we're going to. So we're recommending using that software instead.
Seems like a no-brainer. Any questions on that? Okay, thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
All right. Ginny, would you take the roll on item 9A?
Sullivan?
Aye.
Coyle?
Aye.
Bessler?
Aye.
Austriaco?
Aye.
Owen?
Aye. Could I have a motion on item 9B? This is the Pepper Construction Company Construction Manager recommendation.
So moved. Second.
Okay, Mary.
So after the first of the year, we produced a request for proposals. 19 companies asked for that proposal information. We had a pre-proposal walkthrough. Due to the size and complexity of the job, 6 firms submitted proposals. We internally looked at those 6 and selected 4 to be interviewed. The interview team consisted of principals, administration, board members. During the first round, we narrowed it to 3, brought 3 firms back for a second round, and the unanimous recommendation from the committee was Pepper Construction. Primarily, a couple of them. One, their extensive construction background and experience, the tools that they will bring to us during pre-construction to help us leverage our dollars to get the most out of this construction project was something that set them apart from a lot of the other committees. So tonight you have their 404-page contract, which consists of 2 parts. One is their fee, and the other is a guaranteed maximum for reimbursables such as construction trailer, some of the printing for bidding and everything. So I'll entertain any questions that anybody has on the contract, the process.
A quick question, when we enter into contracts like this, is there like a guaranteed date when they have to complete it? Or
So,
a lot of
because we don't have a finalized construction schedule, there's no liquidating damage for the construction manager. When we actually issue individual contracts, we'll make decisions about liquidating damages based on the project scope. So if it is a renovation that if it's not finished, we can't open school, that might be one where we issue liquidating damages. But if there's one that it's going to be ongoing and that section of the building is going to be closed off anyway, so a couple days doesn't matter, we probably won't do liquidating damages.
Mary, you mentioned there were 6 that originally came in bids. 2 of them were removed. Can you just generally describe why that was?
Sure. One was removed because they were about $5 million higher, than the rest of the pack, and the other one we didn't think had the high school or actually the school experience to do a project this size.
And I just want to say, as Terry and I were present for the interviews, and they were very thorough. It was really impressive. The companies were really impressive. Pepper just really stood out. But we really got a lot of information. It's pretty amazing the amount of work and time that those companies put in just to presenting the bid. It's really, they came in with, like shirts with our logos, the Maine South team, the Maine East team, the Maine West team. So they were really, they really want to be partners. So.
Yeah, and part of our focus was that we wanted to get to know our on-site personnel and the people who would be responsible for the running the project day to day for us. And that was kind of a little unique twist to what these firms were used to.
So in Pepper in particular, their on-site people, which we put a lot of emphasis on, had really deep knowledge of those buildings. Here's how descriptive they were. The person, one of their lead people at East, has significant